This is a new series that I'm putting out every single week, teaching you guys the A to Z how to do the BRRRR strategy right. If you didn't know what the BRRRR strategy is, let me tell you. B stands for buy it as a fixer. R, rehab. And then after that, rent. And then refi, and then repeat the process. In this video, we're gonna go in depth and talking about the B, buy it as a fixer. You guys ready? If you're gonna do the BRRRR strategy in today's market, the first thing is you gotta do the location right. The key thing is you gotta buy the property in the right location. So let me give you an example. When I think of C location, I think of that location as low appreciation, low price point, and low rent. A is very high appreciation, very high price point, but the rent isn't high enough to compensate for the high mortgage or the high price point. And then B is a balance of both. Good price point, good rent. And the BRRRR strategy live in the B. So you gotta think of where in your area, in your city, where it's the B area. And that's the key with location. The next thing is you gotta get the right type of property. See, there's two types of property when you buy a rental property. If you wanna buy a moving condition, you can just buy it, put a little paint job and go in and rent, but that's not considered what I call the BRRRR strategy. The BRRRR strategy, you gotta find property that need a lot of work. You wanna find property where there's basically the house looks like it's very, very, very tired. The bushes and the grass are real tall. There might be a tarp on the roof. There might be abandoned cars sitting outside. You know, the window are broken. You know, dog is running around barking. There's poop everywhere. All that kind of stuff. That's the type of property you want to buy if you want to do the BRRRR strategy right this time in the market. The next thing is you want to find a property where it has a good layout, where you can actually add value and force value. Let me tell you what I mean by adding value. This property here is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath with unfinished basement. If I were just to add value, I would just remodel what's already exists and then leave the basement basically unfinished. Forcing value is where I remodel the upstairs, but then downstairs, I add more bedroom and more bathroom and more square footage. That's called adding value and forcing value. Now, when it comes down to layout, you gotta find a property where you can actually work with the layout. Sometimes, if a layout don't work well, you can get rid of the layout and then redesign it and make it better. But some property, you just can't even redesign it. It's just a wash. So you can't mess with those. This property here, we got to actually make it work because there were certain walls that was up that we got rid of, and then we actually opened it up, then we made the upstairs work well. We still kept the 2-bedroom, 1-bath upstairs, but then downstairs, it was basically an open canvas. And then we just basically put more bedroom and bathroom. We took 2 more bedroom and a bathroom and a rec room downstairs, and that's what I call adding value, force value. This is what you gotta do if you really, really wanna do the BRRRR model in today's time. The most important thing, after all that what I talked about, it all comes down to you gotta buy it at the right price, otherwise the whole thing does not work. Here is the overall how I want you to think about price. First of all, you want to take a look and you want to ask yourself this question. When this house is all done, what's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home, 2,000 square feet sell for in the area? You got to figure out what the ARV is. You got to make sure you don't hype up the ARV too high, okay? Because at the end of the day, the bank got to appraise this property. So you got to do your comp, you got to do your research, you got to look on Zillow. You know, if you have access to MLS, right? You got to see what does the finished product go for. So let's say for easy calculation, right? The home's gonna be worth $800,000. Then what you do is you multiply it by 70%, which is now $560,000. Then you ask yourself, what would it cost to rehab? If you don't know what it costs to rehab, you gotta get your contract out here so they can tell you the price. So let's just say it costs $100,000 to rehab. Now you have $460,000. That is what you should be buying the fixer up for as is. That's how you get 30% margin. In today's time, you gotta have high standard. If you don't get the high standard and you do all this work and you got high interest rate and you don't get enough margin, you're not gonna be able to actually get enough equity in it so you can refi and get your original down payment back out. So when you have high interest rate right now, you can get a cheaper price point, a price for the property, but you gotta make sure that you gotta get clear on what the ARV is, what the rehab is, and you gotta buy it right. Otherwise, you're not gonna get 30% margin. You gotta get 30% margin if you wanna do a BRRRR in today's market. So I hope this is helpful to you guys to understand the first step of the BRRRR strategy, basically the B, right? You gotta buy it right, folks. And you gotta do everything I talk about right if you're gonna make the BRRRR strategy work in today's time. If you gotta like it and you got a lot of value, give me a thumbs up, comment in below. And then until next week, we're gonna go in depth in rehab. Till then, subscribe to the video. Peace.